All right. Well, welcome, folks, to this live stream. And I thought I would just do this one and make this one public. Why not? Now, for anyone who is wondering, I do live stream pretty much every day, but I normally just live stream for the members area. I thought that this might be a good one to do just in the main room. There is no chance of anybody turning up because when you do live streams, it only sends one notification every 24 hours. So I've already streamed for 5.5 hours today, and I'll probably be here all by myself. But in any event, that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to see if I can speed up this page. Now, this page here is the Trongate News website, and it's a bit of a mess. This is me doing a hard reload, and it's just a little bit on the slow side, you know. If I go, let's see here. Now I'm going to right click. I'm going to do empty cache and hard reload, right? Let's just try this. In fact, why don't we perhaps put a clock on this if it's possible? Anyway, let's just empty cache and hard reload. Now watch how slow this page is, right? Okay, it's a wee bit difficult to tell with that, but if we do it from here, and I'm gonna do this again, empty cache and hard reload, we should get a time here. Okay, so that's 1.93 seconds, right? Let's do this again. I'm gonna right click, empty cache and hard reload. Okay, that time it was 2.26 seconds. Let me try again. 1.86, right? Let's call it 2 seconds. That seems to be the average, right? And here, well, if you look at that, that was 2.75 seconds. In fact, 4.8 seconds. I think that's because it's got a YouTube thing loading on it, though. So let's go back. And there's not much that we can do about that. So okay, so that one did not have a YouTube video. That one loaded in 1.28 seconds. So the one that's really letting us down is this news section here, which, or this news page here, which is, well, there you go, 2.07 seconds. So I'm going to call this 2 seconds. Now, I happen to have a bullet of an internet connection here. So I think for a lot of people that could be much, much slower than that. And today I'm going to see if I can speed this thing up somehow. So I've got a local version of the site here, and it's a bit of a mess to say the least. But I'm going to just see if there's some way somehow that I can speed this thing up. Now, did I just hear my phone there? Something's happening. Somebody's messaging. Oh, hang on. Give me just a second here. You know, I think it's somebody sending a link. Is it? Let's have a look. One moment. I'm just waiting. I'm checking my phone here before I get going. Anyway, while I do that, let me just quickly log into this site here. Just give me just a wee second. I'm just logging in. Okay. Done. Let's have a look here. Right, well, I don't understand what was sent in. Doesn't matter. Right, I am having some challenges with this thing that I'm looking at. So let me just get my act together. Okay. So you can see I've got all sorts of issues here. Now, I'm going to head and have a look at the database. We'll do that as a starter for 10. So here it is right here. Okay. So the goal is to just find a way to get this page going faster. Whatever I was doing at the time, I was probably not having my best day, you know. So here we have our news section. And you can see, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, I have no idea what that is. But let me select all from news, and I'm gonna order by date created descending. Oh geez. Date and time, okay. So select all from news, order by date and time descending. Here we go. Okay. Alright, let me open up the site in my text editor. I'll just do this, it won't be a second. Okay, give me a wee second here. Alright, I was on the wrong database table. I'll just show you. So this is looking at Trongate Live 5 Perfect. Well, it's not that perfect, clearly. But let's check it out. So it's looking at this thing here. And if we click into news, this database is not the live one, by the way, just to state the obvious. Right, so I'm going to get rid of this. And now if we go back here, I'll refresh. Ah, there you go. Right, so there's our news section, and it's ahoy to chef, ding, 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 ding. How are you doing, chef? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're speeding up this news site here, and some say it's the most electrifying news site in all of web development. Controversy ahoy, you know. Okay, so how do we speed this thing up? Well, I tell you what, I've got an idea. Let's build a module, and we'll call this module the cache boss. How about that? Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Cache boss. Now remember, folks, what does cache mean? It means that we are gonna store away or hide or in cache memory. It basically means we're gonna store the thing so that we can load it quicker, right? So here's how it goes. We make a thing called cache boss. Now this module, which may go into the module market, is going to have a controllers folder, and I'm going to say new file. We'll call it cacheboss.php. Let's make the font nice and big for you here. And we're going to just get straight into the coding action by saying cache boss extends Trongate. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to run or create a function called attempt to draw page. Let's just call it that, right? Or how about attempt intercept? Probably a better name. attempt intercept. Now I'm going to echo hi with a little die statement. Then I'm going to find the page that I want to speed up. So let's say the news page here, right? So we head into news, we'll go like this, and there's probably an index here somewhere. And if I just go like this, echo yes, die statement, refresh, you can see that this is the correct page. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this module, we're going to load up our cache boss, and then we're going to say this cache boss, and then it's going to be attempt intercept, like that. And there you go, you can see that it says hi. Now if we comment this hi out, the page will load as normal, but if we keep it in, it's attempting an intercept. Now how on earth is all of this going to work? Well, what we're going to do is the following. On our attempt intercept thing, let's just echo the current URL with a die statement, and you can see our current URL here. So then what we're going to do is in our public folder, we're going to have a new folder called cache, okay, or cached content, whatever, something like that, right? Let's call it cached content. And the idea is that we're going to check this cached content for a page that contains the current URL. Now, this is probably a good time to bring in the employee of the month. I've done this before, but hey, you know, why not? Why not? We have technology, right? So I'm going to say I'm writing an app in PHP and I have a file name. How can I scan a directory to check if the file name exists? No. I have a part of a file name. How can I scan a directory to check if a file exists that contains the target part of file name? There you go. Now, like I say, I've done this before, but why not use a bit of technology? It's not something we do every day, right? I'm talking about building caching systems and stuff like that. Now, hopefully this will come good. So you can use the scan dir function to scan a directory and obtain an array of files and directories. Within that directory, you can then loop through the array and use the string position function to check if the target part of the file name exists within. Okay, here's our example code snippet. So directory is, and then we've got our path to the directory. Then we've got our target as part of file name. And then we're saying files is scan directory, blah, 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 blah. Looping through the files for each files as file. And if we have the thing found, then we'll just say file found. That's pretty cool. And there we have it. Alright. So let's copy that. And we're going to just paste this in like so. And what we're going to do is the target. Now let me just echo current URL. And I'm going to echo this target again. So it gives us this, right? Gives us this. Now, if we then, let me just try something. Let me echo URL title of target. Ah, now that's kind of cool. So that gets rid of some dodgy characters and things like that, you know. But we could go a wee bit further. So we could say that the target is, and I'll just say this, prep target string, and we'll pass in, actually let's just pass in the current URL. Okay, so we're going to have a little function down here called prep target string. Now this is going to take a string and it's going to return it. That's basically what this does. So you can see here that we're just taking our current URL, no big deal. But down here we can say that the string is URL title of the string. So you'll watch, you'll see that it changes. But let's go a wee bit further. Let's say that the string is string replace, and we're going to take the diagonal, replace it with an underline. I just like them more, a bit more for doing files, you know. So there we go. And I'm also going to say that the string also equals, and I'll add on a little underscore here. Okay, so now I've got this target string that I want. Okay, I'm going to also get the directory figured out. I'm going to say app path, and it's going to be public. Now we don't need a / here, but it'll be public, and then it will be cached content, and then we've got these files here. Now let's just check that that's working. We're going to say JSON files, little old die statement, and you can see that there's not too much happening here. So let's add in a couple of files. I'm going to just say new file 1.html. Let's have 2.html, and of course we'll finish with 3.html. And then if we refresh, you can see that it's listing the files here, right? Now let's do this attempt intercept thing. We're looping through the files, and if we find a file, we'll just say file found with a die statement. So what that's going to do is it's going to stop the loading of the thing. But if nothing happens, then the page displays as normal. Okay, so that's us doing an attempted intercept. Okay, now over on our news thing here, we've called our cache boss and we've said attempt intercept. If the thing intercepts, that's all well and good. But if it does not intercept, then I'm going to say cache boss, and I'm going to say save page, like that. Now what on earth is save page going to do? You can guess. That's right, it's going to live down here. We're going to say save page. I'm going to just say howdy. Now if we look at our page source code, go to the bottom of it, right at the end of the page, you can see way down the bottom left hand side there, you can see that it says the word howdy. So that's showing up after this page has loaded. So what are we going to do here? Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say data view module is cache boss. Then I'm going to say data view. Now hold on a second. No, I'm going to say this view, I'm loading up a view file, and it's going to be called save page script, and I'll pass in the data. Alright, so you can see that it's struggling to find this here. So let's go to this cache boss thing again, which lives right here. I'm going to make up a views folder, and inside here I'll have a file by the name of save page script. So if we go back and refresh, you'll see that this is bringing in save page script. Okay. So how does this work? Well, let's try a little experiment. If we do something like that and alert Ahoy, and then go to the page here, you can see that it says Ahoy. So even though that script is not part of the page, it still works. In fact, if we go like this, I'm going to ask the employee of the month a question. Where is the employee of the month? Here it's here. So we'll ask, I just want to double check that this is legal. Is it permitted to add JavaScript code after a closing HTML tag? For example, just want to make sure. I think it is. Yes, it's allowed to add it after the closing HTML. Still execute as long as it's valid. So there we go. And it's, however, it's generally considered best practice to blah 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 blah. Right, fine. So this code is a wee bit weird, granted, but I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to write a little bit of JavaScript here, and the JavaScript is going to pick up all of the HTML. So I'm going to say window, add event listener, load. So that means everything is loaded, right? So when everything is loaded, I'm going to alert the page has loaded. So check this out. We go back here, we're going to refresh, and it says the page has loaded, and there you go. Okay, so now instead of saying the page has loaded, what we're going to do is we're going to say const the page is document get elements by tag name, and we're looking for an HTML tag. It's an array, so we'll get the first one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to console.log the page dot, let's call it outer HTML. So when we load this, it looks as if nothing's happening, but if you open up the inspector, check out the console, and look at this, we have, can you believe it? We have the entire page here, all of it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get that stuff and then post it to an endpoint. So let's just say const params equals. Now I'm going to just say current URL, and then we'll break into PHP and chuck in the current URL. Then I'm going to say all HTML is, now that is going to be the page dot outer HTML. So I'm building up this params thing here, you know. Then I'm going to say const HTTP is new XML HTTP request. Now you're all going to think I'm geniuses because I can write this from the top of my head. But remember, folks, I've done this a gazillion times, you know. Don't be too impressed. So const target URL is, we'll have the base URL in here. I'll have cache boss. Then we'll have submit page content. Something like that. Then we're going to say HTTP and set, no, hold on a second. HTTP dot you know what? It's HTTP dot open post request to the target URL. I got that wrong there. Serves me right. Then we say set request header. So this is going to be application. No, it's content type. Then it's application JSON. That's how we do it. Then we say HTTP send, and we're going to say JSON dot stringify params. Then we say HTTP onload equals. Now that's going to produce a function, and from the function I'll just alert the HTTP dot status. Okay, so that means that when this page loads, invalid shorthand property news 458. What is it talking about? Set request header, application JSON. I'll ask the employee of the month. I thought I had it. Here's me trying to be all smart, and I never even got it right. Anyway, no, that's right. There's nothing up with that. No, I don't think that's an issue. I really don't. Okay. Nah, the thing is wrong, because that was not the issue. Let me just... No, I think that should be fine. There's a syntax... Oh, jeez, is there a syntax error? The colon... You're right, I've said equals. Right, that was the error. Right, that's my mistake. I've been a bit tired. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? Right, okay. Okay, good. Right, so we are now submitting some stuff, okay? And I insist that this code is good. There we go. So we're going to have submit page content. All right. So cache boss, let's just have it maybe down here. Submit page content, something like that, and I'll just say hi. So now you can see that that's given us a 200 response, which means that this is working. Maybe we'll do some console.logs here, right? So console.log HTTP status, and then I'm going to console.log HTTP response text. So top left, you can see it says hi, right? Now what we're going to do then is we're going to get the posted stuff. So I'm going to say posted params is, and it's going to be file get contents PHP input. Then I'm going to say args equals JSON decode of posted params. Now if we say JSON args, we get that, and you can see that we've now got our current URL and we've also got all HTML. So I'm going to say here that the current URL is args calling upon, and it's, you can see right there, it's current URL. I'm jumping between snake case for PHP and camel case for JavaScript, but if I echo the current URL with a die statement, you can see right there where this page is coming from, right? I'll also add in a little ternary operator here just to make sure we're not getting any errors. And then the other thing that we're getting, if you look closely, you'll see that we're getting all HTML coming in like this, okay? All HTML. So let's just say HTML or page HTML equals args calling upon all HTML, and again we'll make that so that it's empty if it hasn't been passed in. So if we echo page HTML with a die statement, there it is right there. Okay, pretty cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the current URL and we're going to prep the current URL. So I'm going to say that the file name equals, and we'll say this, prep target string, and we'll pass in the current URL. So if we echo file name now, keeping an eye on the top left, and you'll see that we've now got this file name here. Okay, now the next thing, we're not quite done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say now time is time, and then I'll say that the file name also equals, let's just say, actually we'll save a line, I'll say that .html. Okay, so this is our target file name. It's going to be that news underscore and a timestamp.html. That timestamp is going to help us to know how old the thing is and if the cache should be updated and all that stuff, you know. So we have the page content. So we have the page HTML or the page content. We have I have the page content, a target directory, and a desired file name. So the question is, how do we create the file? Well, again, it's not something we do every day, so there's no harm in asking the employee of the month. And I think it's touch is all you say. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. So I think we say touch, and I think that we say something like file name and then target directory. And the target directory would be this, you know. So I reckon it's that. I reckon that's what it is. Assuming this, we'll let this do what it's so huge. No, it thinks we're using Node.js. Anyway, let's just do this. Fatal error must be type int string given. Ah, geez. Right, PHP create file. The employee of the month is a bit slow right now. Alright, well, fair enough. Okay, so the text equals the page HTML. And we write the text. Now here's the file name. So the file name, we now have that. There it is, right? So we open the file, we write to the file. We close the file. I don't like how it's called my file. I'll call it new file. Okay, and there's really no need for this. Let's just add in page HTML. And then I'll just say done. So when we go to our page here, refresh, you can see that it says done. Now have a look inside our cache folder. You miserable swine, it never worked. Well, well, well. Well, look at this. It did add it to the public directory. You can see right there. So it has at least added it. It's just that it never added it to the cached content. So what we have to do then is take the directory, then add on a little /, then it's the new file. So I'm going to delete this one. Okay, let's try again, right? So here we go. We're going to refresh. Right argument string given. Oh, geez. Well, that's a bit of a downer. Right, let me try something else. File path equals, now if we say dir, then a /, then a file name. Let's echo file path. Okay, here we go again. Okay, I reckon that should work. So it's file path we chuck in here. Can get rid of that. Okay, here we go again. So it says done, and if you look inside cached content, there is our page. Now how beautiful is that? So we have just saved all of the contents of that page as just pure HTML. Now do you remember how we did this attempt intercept thing? Well, if we load the page again, you can see that it says file found. So this time, instead of just saying file found, let's just quickly check in with the employee of the month, because I wanted to ask it a question. You see, okay. Suppose I have a file path in my server that contains an HTML file. What is the fastest way to read and display the HTML within the file. I'm using PHP. So possible options are things like file get contents or f.open, or even have a URL that just somehow serves the thing. So let's just see what it says. File get contents, okay. That's fine. Okay, so let's do that then, right? So if we have the thing, I'm going to say echo file get contents, and we'll chuck in the... Now, let's think about something here. Let's chuck in the file. So when this page loads now, if we do that, alright. Okay, now, hold on a second. I'm going to do a die statement here. Okay, so it's struggling with that. So what we're going to do then is we're going to put in the directory, then a /. So now it's loaded it. And that was being read. Believe it or not, that is all being read from memory. Now if I go and look at network now, and then we'll do another hard reload. This could be really embarrassing. Stop recording network. Fetch. Let's try this again. Right, so now you'll see that instead of the page taking 2 seconds, it's loading in under a second. So that's 896 milliseconds. Here it is again. I'll refresh. Okay, and you'll notice it's consistent as well. So it's really, really fast. Now, if we take this page out, oh, and by the way, it seems to be adding it again. Oh, gee. Oh, of course, of course. So what's happening, and I can actually speed it up here. Okay, so every time it's loading, it's because it's getting that JavaScript, it's this script here. This script here. Okay. So what we'll do then is the following. Let's go to this save page script. Okay, I'm going to go to the employee of the month here. Suppose I have some HTML code that I have read from a web page. Let's assume is a large string, and I would like to remove the final closing script tags and everything within them. How can I achieve this? I don't think that will work. Oh, it matches the final closing script tag, right? I never knew that. Okay, so let's just go with that then. So here we are. This is our submit page content thing, right? So what we're doing then is the following. Right, do you see how it says page HTML here? So we'll go like this. And they've called it HTML string. For us, it's called page HTML. Now we've got page HTML, but then we've got this clean HTML string here. So let's go like that. And we're going to chuck in this clean HTML string here. Here we go. Okay, so this is a good time to delete those unwanted files. There's quite a few of them, right? So we'll delete all the way. And this page should hopefully be even faster when we do all of this. Okay, so that's us all deleted now. Now let's give this another try. We're going to refresh. Now watch how the page takes a bit of time. It should anyway. So there's our cached page. If we look at the bottom of it, you'll see that it has successfully removed our script tags. So if we keep on refreshing this, no more duplicates. All day long, and it's pretty fast, you know. So let's now take this out. So we'll delete that file, and then let's see how long it takes now. So empty cache and hard reload. I have no idea why it's staying at 854. Maybe that's in reference to something else. Right, hold on. Inspect. Right, here we go. So hard reload. Now that was half a second, which is fast, right? So let's delete that. Let's go again. How can that be half a second? Doesn't it make sense? Does not make sense. Maybe it's because I'm on the local computer. 835. Half a second. Alright, well that's the vibe anyway. And just to prove that it works, I'll just say H1. It works. A little H1. And if we refresh, you'll see that it truly is just loading it from that folder. Pretty cool, right? And that's it. So that's how you build a caching thing, and it's pretty much as simple as that. All that remains is final touches, like make it secure, things like that, you know. So how do we make this thing secure? Jeez. Because you don't want people submitting tons of stuff and writing to the file, you know. So I'm going to have to do that. Now somebody here has some advice. Chris, Don't cache user-based dates. Oh yeah, of course. Aye, you're 100% right. Chris is actually right with that. Aye, thank you for the reminder. That's 100% right. You don't want to cache with the token and stuff like that. So basically, no, that's actually a perfectly legitimate comment. So if you look at the, thank you, Chris. Aye, he's absolutely right. If you look at the top of the URL here, you'll see that we've got login register. And these are things, of course, these are things that appear if the user's logged in or not. So what we're going to do then is inspect that, and that part is not going to be included in the thing. Okay. So we've got these login links on the right hand side here. So let's assume that my page also has a div with an ID of login links. How can I remove that div and everything within it from the HTML? I'll just say from the clean HTML string. It should understand that. Yeah, good reminder. Okay, so it's done one of these wee vibes again that nobody understands, especially me. So that's good. That's pretty darn good. And so we're looking at our submit thing. And we'll chuck that one in right there. Okay, and if you go to the cached page here, well, let's delete. So we're going to run, now that's the normal page, right? But now we're going to go to the cached page. Can you believe that? It's empty. Okay, so the pattern is that. Hold on. Oh, I see. It's extended the pattern, so it would be like this. Okay, that's cool. So here we go. So there's our page. Now, and it's keeping on going. Okay, so clearly this thing is not working. Alright, we'll bring back the original one. So I'm refreshing over and over, and hopefully every single time it's doing that. Darn. Let's try again. Okay, let me do this again. Right, so that's working. So what we want to do then is get rid of those login links here. Now, again, I'll just quickly look at this. We've got login links. If we go to a smaller screen, we've got, now let me inspect. Okay, so that's a thing that says FA sign in. Okay, I've got an idea. I think we can do this from the JavaScript end of things. So if we go to this save page script here, right, and here we've got this get the page is that, right? Now supposing we said, and it's just an experiment, supposing we said shadow page equals the page. If we alert shadow page dot inner HTML, do you think that'll work? Place your bets, place your bets. Let's see if this works. Because if that works, it does work. It completely works. So here's what we do then. If we take a look at this thing on the top right here, and this is our link, you know, this thing here. Now supposing we say copy selector, right? And supposing we say const login div, I'll say SM for small. Now let's assume that this is the page query selector of that, right? Let's try a little experiment. I'll do a set timeout. I'm going to wait 3 seconds. And I'm going to say login div SM remove. I'm just curious. Do you think that'll work? Place your bets. Here we go. So we do that. We're going to wait 3 seconds. Eyes on the top right. And there you go. It deleted it, right? So then we can do the same with this one here. So let's inspect that. Now this one is called login links. I don't think there's anything else that says login links on this page. Pretty much just one of them, and it's a class, you know. So what we could do is, let's just say const login links is document get elements by class name. So the class is login, I think it's underscore links. Now because we're saying get elements by class name, I'll chuck in a 0. And how about if we just say login links remove? So what do you reckon? Or even we could say the page dot, let's try it this way, query selector, and I'll just say, hold on, alright, copy selector. So if I chuck that inside here, like that, now I'm going to refresh. Oh, hang on, I need to delete this. Okay, so we're going to refresh, keep an eye on the top right hand side there, and as you can see, it did just remove it. Now maybe removing is not the best idea because it messed up the alignment. So maybe instead of removing it, maybe we'll do a little while loop, you know. So something like this. So we could say while alright, so this here is going to be referencing login links, and we're saying, look, while we've got a first child, let's remove it, and then we'll just say login links dot inner HTML is, chuck in a little space, and we'll see how that works, right? So here we go again. We'll clear the cache. We're going to refresh. So there's our thing. Keep your eye on the top right. You miserable thing. Well, that's a bit of a downer. But it might not be that much of a disaster, actually. Because, of course, what we're actually going to do is we're going to say shadow page, blah, 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 blah. Then here we're going to say shadow page.outer.html. We don't need to do these set timeouts here now. Now, I might be wrong about this, but I reckon that this is going to work. Shall we dance? Here we go. So we're heading to news, going to refresh. There's our news page, right? So now I'm going to do this again. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. We do need this. I just forgot to... I know, we do need that. Forgive me, folks. We do need this. We need this. There we go. Alright. We'll take this out as well. In fact, we don't even need to. We can... Right, there we go. So something like this. Okay, here we go, and here we are. So this is us, right? We'll refresh. Looks okay. Now it removed, which is a complete downer. Why did it remove? Well, maybe that's just what's going to happen. Is that the way it's going to be? Login links. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to delete that again. Let me just refresh. Ah, top right hand side disappears. Right, okay, I take it back. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to go back to wherever it was before. So we'll just post it. Yep. Alright. Alright, so we're back to posting this darn thing. Okay. Alright. Now, where on earth is the room? Am I all by myself? I can't find you folks. I know you're here though. Darn. Where did you all go? I actually have lost... Ah, here it's here. Alright. Okay. Did you find the cutting edge technology that was developed through PHP? We certainly did not, unfortunately. Nah, we never. PHP is great. I'm a huge PHP fan. But unfortunately, there's not too much innovation happening in PHP these days, you know? What a shame. Anyway, right, so we're going to have to do this kind of the hard way. So, let's try an experiment. I'm going to go to cache boss, function, test. I'm going to say hi. So here we go. Cache boss test. And you can see that it says hi, right? So let's take this here. I'll copy this. And I'm going to just say file name is that. And then here's our directory. And I'll just say that the file path is something like that. And there's our file path, right? So there it is right there. Now I'm going to say HTML code is file get contents of the file path, and we'll echo it. Now that gives us that. So now what I'm going to do is try and ChatGPT was letting us down, so I'm going to try and figure out if we can just do this by ourselves, you know. So for example, we had a thing that was called login links. Here it is right here. And you can see that that says class is login links. So here's what we could do. We could say this this, let's load up master scraper. Now we do have a thing called master scraper here, and this has a thing called extract content. Here's how it works. So I could say string is this master scraper extract content. Now the string itself is the HTML code, and the start that we're looking for is this little beauty here, and the end that we're looking for is that little beauty right there. So now if we just echo string with a die statement, there you can see it right there, okay? So that is the content that we want to delete. So what we're going to then say is that the HTML code equals string replace. Now this is the thing that we're going to be ditching. I'll make this font a bit bigger. So we're going to ditch that, right? So string replace, ditch that, and we're going to replace it with emptiness, and we're going to do that to the HTML code. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now let's do the second one. So if we echo HTML code, the second one's going to be a bit trickier. With the second one, we are talking about the small header. So it's this one here. And you can see that we've got this here. Alright, I think I'm going to just cheat a wee bit and say ditch is, and in here we'll chuck in the base URL. So now we're going to say HTML code is string replace, let's say I'll do a bunch of X's so that I can see that this has worked. And there you can see it right there, okay? But of course we're ditching it with a little bunch of emptiness here, or yeah, that's fine, something like that. So there we go. Now one of the things that's a concern for me is, was that sign in? It was sign in. So the question then is, what happens when you are actually signed in? because obviously that will be a whole different story. So let me just quickly sign in. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm now signed in. Okay. If I can just find the OBS thing. Ah, there we go. Right, so this is what you get when you sign in. If I do that, I'm going to inspect. Okay, so FA user circle and all of that stuff. Let's just view the page source. I'm going to say user circle. So that's the thing that we want to ditch again. Something like that. And that takes care of that. Now I've also noticed, of course, that we have... hold on a minute. Yeah, you can see that we've got a thing here called member top nav. Okay. Now member top nav. Here it is right here. Member top nav goes all the way up to this bright squares thing. So if I'm logged in, okay, and if we right click and inspect here, there it is right there. And as you can see, it goes all the way up to class equals bright squares. So let's take this one here. So again, I'll use the extractor for this. I'll say that the start is that and the end is that. Okay. So if we say string equals now. Let me just go like this. And I'm going to echo this string thing, whatever it is here. Damn. Well, you know what? Let me copy this one. I'll just chuck this thing in here. Hang on, my mistake. It's this one. Okay, so where it says this, to make this thing work, I'm just gonna do a little replace. Okay, so it's gonna be local host. I think it's that. So let's do that. There we go. So now we should hopefully have a slightly more accurate representation of that thing. There it is right there. So what we're then going to do is I'm going to say string to go equals start dot string. So if we echo string to go, typo, alright, so it's to go. There it is right there. So that is the entire member top nav. And just to be smug, I'll say string to go is trim string to go. And then we just say HTML code is string replace string to go. So we replace that code with emptiness on the HTML. And there it is. So there you go, right? Now what is all of that stuff actually doing? It's cleaning up the HTML. So return HTML code, and I'll call this one clean the HTML. So this is going to take in some HTML code. There you go. And it's going to return the HTML code. So if we now go to submit page content here, okay, so we're looking for a thing that we're going to just say clean HTML string is clean the HTML. We're going to pass in the page HTML, and indeed we can even copy that, send it upstairs. So what we're doing then is we're saying that the HTML code is, now let's just call this page HTML. There we go. So I reckon that that should work, unless I'm very much mistaken. So here we go, refreshing. Oh, pattern is that, what the heck? Why would it do that? Right, hold on. Why the heck is it doing that? Is that a typo? Oh, it's the curly brackets. That's what it is. Alright. So this is going to take in our page HTML. I'll bring this thing back up again like an idiot. Like an idiot. So we're passing in our page HTML. Then we're going like this. Then we're going to say HTML code. There you go. Alright, now I'll do this again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to refresh. Now, if I load this again, you'll see that our login links and all of that don't show up. And just look at that. You know what I've just realized? This is killing me. This is killing me. I think it might have deleted all of the JavaScript. I think it has. So I had a feeling that that might happen. So let me take this out. And let's delete this thing again. Okay, so we're gonna refresh. There's our page. Well, of course, we have to say here that the HTML code is coming in. Okay. Here we go again. So there's our page. You can see that this works. There it is again, and it still works. So clearly the script thing that they had earlier on was causing problems, right? So right around here, I'm going to say a little comment that says save. Make it really unique. Save page script start, something like that. And something like that. Okay. So back over to this clean the thing, because the one that we had was just not working, you know. So what we'll do then is we'll say start equals that, and end equals, we'll chuck that in. Okay, so then we're going to say ditch equals this master scraper extract content. So we're looking at the HTML code and we're looking at start and end. That gives us something that we can ditch. Now let's say that string to ditch equals, let's just say start dot ditch dot end. Then we go like this. We chuck in the string to ditch. There it is. So here we go. This is going to be perfect. All we had to do was not listen to ChatGPT, you know. So here we go. You can see our login link here. And now it's gone. But as you can see, the menu still works. Most importantly, if we look at the page source, head downstairs. Alright, well, we're still getting some challenges with that save page script end thing there. You know what? Let's make life easy. So how about if we just say ditch that, and then we'll just say HTML code is string replace. We'll take this start thing, replace that with emptiness. Oh geez. And we'll do the same. HTML code equals string replace end, replace it with emptiness on the HTML code. Okay, here we go. This will be the one. So everything looks good. We have one file. Let's refresh. Oh, why is it doing that? Well, that is depressing. Let's see what just happened here. Um. Oh, well, it's called HTML code. What an idiot. That was the mistake. Typo, you know. Typo. Alright, here we go. Here we go. So, looking good. Right, we've totally got it now. Now, hold on. Flipping heck, man. I have no idea why it's given me an empty page now. Oh, I see. So, for reasons unknown, this thing here, well, it's just not working. Okay, here we go again. Right, now I'm happy to just do that. It's kind of funny, isn't it, how the comment there is not working. Alright, that's okay. I have another plan. So here's the other plan. What we can do is take this out. I wonder if we can do like a comment here. Okay, forgive me, my stomach's doing Chewbacca impersonations. I need to get something to eat here. Anyway, let's do that. Let's see what that does. In fact, maybe that'll work. So I suppose the first thing I should do is just make sure that we're saving those comments there. Yep, we've got them. So now that we've got them, we can probably even do something like that and something like that. All right, so delete that, try this again, have a wee look in here, head downstairs. Oh, so now we've got something that we can definitely work with here. So on our master scraper, we're going to say start is this, and the end is this. Okay. Seem to be getting emails here. Give me a minute. Just checking my phone. Give me a second here. Nothing of interest in. Alright. So that's us extracting the content. Now let's just do that. And let's just do this. This should work this time. Okay, here we go. So we'll delete this little beauty. Okay. Now we do have one file here. If I go downstairs, you can see that it's removed all of the junk that we don't need. So this still works. And then we can load it all day long and everything is beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Your applause is most welcome. Alright, so there we go. I wonder if the guy Chris is still around. Are we happy? Oh, nicely spotted, Stefan. I'm impressed. Okay. Yeah, so hello to you, Kyle. My energy levels have been really through the floor lately. And I find that whenever I'm live streaming, sometimes it gives me a wee bit of motivation, you know. Anyway, we've got a beautiful caching thing happening here. And here it is, you know. If we refresh this, you won't notice much of a difference offline, actually. But that is being read from the cache vibe, you know. So, kinda cool. Now the next thing is, what next? What are we going to do next? Well, the next vibe is how to make this secure. And that is a question for sure. How do we make this secure? I think I've got the answer. It might be that, let me think here. Right, if we look at our cache boss thing, you know, I'm looking at this code and I'm like, what the heck have I just written? Oh, gee. Okay, let's try a little experiment. I'm going to say this module TronGate tokens. I'm going to say token is TronGate tokens attempt get valid token. Then I'm going to take that token and pass it into this view file here. Now, that is a view file that lives up here. Come on, what's this? Alright. So this is our view file here. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to alert the... No, hold on. If we say var token equals PHP, let's echo the token like that. Now I'm going to alert the token. So if we refresh, and unfortunately I'll have to delete this page here. Okay, so we're going to delete this file. Now let me just do something. If we look at TronGate tokens and we look at attempt get valid token, if we don't have a valid token, this is going to return false, you know. So let's make it so that we'll just say if data token is false, well, let's just cheat and we'll say data token is ABC123. Okay, now back on the script here, we're going to try and alert that token, right? So if I refresh, you'll see that we've actually got a full token, as luck would have it. Which I'm kind of surprised about. But that's okay. That's okay. So what we can do then is do something like that, right? So we should now have this token thing here. So now okay, let's say if token dot length is greater than 15, then we'll do this stuff. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. Tell you what we'll do. Okay, I'm going to attach the token to the header of the request. So I think it's called TronGate token. I think that's how you do it. It is how you do it. Okay, so we're going to then say on this little beauty here, HTTP set request header. It's called TronGate token, and we're going to give it that token value that we've assigned upstairs. So then we post the thing. You can see that we're doing some console.logs there, and we've got this submit page content thing going on here. So over on submit page content, we're going to find out what the token is, and we're going to make sure that this user is authorized. So inside our engine folder, there's a little bit of code like this. So we're going to go like that, and if the token is false, we're going to say HTTP response code 401 with a die statement, which basically means you're no getting past. But if we have got a token, then we're going to say this module TronGate tokens. Now on TronGate token, you can see that we've got a get user level here. Okay, so we're going to say user level is this TronGate tokens get user level, and I'm passing in the token, right? So if the user level, now okay, let me just be clear about this. I'll say that the user level is string to lower user level. I don't want to worry about any uppercase bullshit. And I'll just say if the user level does not equal admin. So if it does not equal admin, then we do a die statement. And that is the endpoint now 100% secure. Pretty cool, right? And the next thing I'm going to do is, when we send this, I'm not going to do this on load event. We'll just keep it like that. And there you have it. So now we've got a beautiful secure caching system here. There it is loading normally. And there it is loading with the cache vibe. Pretty cool, right? There you go. So let's do that again. So there's a normal load. Look on the top right, that's the giveaway. And then there's the cache one. But everything is cool in the gang because all of the menus and everything still work, as you can see. And even if there is an account link, who cares? It will just divert them to the login page anyway, you know. Okay, so for anyone just joining, you are watching the home of the web development revolution. And let's see what Chris has for us here. Cache it back end before sending it to the client. Cache it back end before sending it to the client. I don't understand what that means. I mean, just to show you what's happening here, I've got it so that it loads the page in its entirety, JavaScript and everything, right? So that's the page loaded. And then the chances are nobody will even see this page except me when I've written an article, let's say, or somebody who's admin, right? So the page appears as normal. Once the page has finished loading, it gets a little bit of JavaScript together here. And it copies the page content, posts it to an endpoint. The endpoint takes the posted content, makes sure that we're an administrator, and then it inserts, not into the database, it literally writes a file. And there is our file. And that's it. That's how it works. So, you know, and then on subsequent visits, when the page loads, you can see that what we do is, in the case of the news site, for example, we've got index, and then we just do an attempt intercept. And if that's lucky, then instead of serving the normal page, it will serve the page that's stored in the cache. So that means no database queries or anything, in fact. So if we just hit refresh, you'll see that the login things have disappeared from the right hand side, which is our clue that this is being read from the cache. And I think that that's solid. I do. So if we view the page source here, that's just a pure HTML file being read. You know, even if we just cache it once a day, I think the site's getting about 300 views a day or something, so hopefully that'll make an impact, you know. And Christian is here. It's ahoy to you. Where have you been, Christian? We haven't seen you in ages. And by the way, have I said hello to you folks? We have. Hang on a second, I have to cough. I'll turn this thing off for a second. Alright, so we have Christian here, our great Viking warlord in full formation. We have Chris, who has given some incredibly intelligent comments so far. Could do with a few more, mind you. The great pillar of the community, Stefan Hummel, is here. Kyle is here. Always positive, Kyle. We're always glad to see you folks here. And millions of other potential people hanging about. There you go. So, pardon me. Now I think what I'm going to do is build a feature for clearing the cache. So how do you reckon that should work? Well, here's what we'll do. Suppose we go like this, /clear, right? Then imagine if we go to our cache boss thing. I don't want an admin panel or anything. I want something that I can just use easily and quickly, right? So what we could do is something like the following. I'm going to go to this intercept thing. Now this is quite an important wee thing, so we'll chuck it at the top of the file, right? Here we go. And I'm going to just echo hi and a die statement. Now, there we are, right? Aye, that's right. So that's absolutely fine. Now, what I want to do is get the last segment of the URL. So we can say that the current URL, oh, actually, we could say URL. Oh, you've been busy? Okay. Well, that's good. I hope it's been going well. Anyway, I'm exploding this vibe like this. So you can see that I'm now taking that URL and I'm breaking it up. Now suppose we say /clear cache or something like that. I'll just say /clear. That will do us, right? Ouch. I did not expect that. Alright, let's try something else. Let's try $clear equals cache. Alright, there we go. So what we could then do is we could say clear cache is just good old-fashioned pure PHP get, and you can see that it's called clear. Now if we echo clear catch, I've called it. Alright, here you go, something like that. Little die statement. Now folks, I've got a wee bit of fun, so hang about with me if you're bored, because in 5 minutes I'm going to show you something or tell you something that you will find more interesting than watching some guy coding, right? And I'm glad you're doing well, Christian. It's good to hear. So here we go. We've got this get cache thing, you know. I'll add in the null coalescing operator. So if we var dump clear cache, then you'll see that we get that, or we get something like that. Perfect. So the idea then is we're going to say if, Oh, you like the Chrome extension? Thank you. I like it as well. I'll show you a quick preview for anyone who's watching. It's going to be for, yeah, it's coming together, but it's taking a while, you know. If I go here, this is going to be the new site. Something like this. Needs a bit of work. I just mapped this out in about 15 minutes. But they're going to have a little extension. And from here, they'll have a complete internal messaging system. And they'll be able to send messages and all of that stuff. But they'll also be able to submit leads or view existing leads like this. Comments, you name it, it's all here. Needs a wee bit of work, but I think it's getting there, and I'm really, really hoping that I'll have it by the end of the week, you know. So that's the extension. I'm glad you like it. We've also got a log in and log out feature as well. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Extensions are cool. It's like, I see them as the open goal because hardly anybody does them, you know. So anyway, you want to clear the cache. All right. So if that's the case, I'm going to just do that with a wee die statement, and there you go. Okay. So, what do we do? What do we do? Well, this is attempting to serve from the cache. But instead of serving from the cache, we're going to delete from the cache. And then let's do an else in here. That's right. I think that's right. It feels like I'm doing caveman coding here. Alright. It does feel a bit like caveman coding, you know. It is caveman coding. I felt it. I felt it, you know. Right, here we go. So if we do that, now got you. Here's what we'll do then. I'm going to say init clear cache equals true, else init clear cache is false. I know that we can do that as a ternary operator. Shall we do that just to be, I don't know, pseudo-intellectual and all of that, you know? So if is set or whatever, we'll say true, otherwise we say false. Cool. Alright. Now, right around here, we're going to say if init clear cache is true, then I am now going to delete, and let's just chuck the thing in here. Okay, so we'll just say I am now going to delete file path. We'll do a wee die statement here. Okay, so that's all cool. But you can see it says I'm now going to delete, and it gives you all of this stuff here. But otherwise, we serve the file. Something like that. So how do we delete it? We say unlink, we chuck in the file path, and then I'm going to just say it is done with a die statement. So you can see we've got two files here. It is done. Now we've got one file. But of course, we don't want to say it is done. Instead, let's just go like that. Now that's given us our page. Hold on. Okay, here we go again. Right, so that's serving us our page here, and we've cleared the cache with that one, right? If we look at the date, you'll see it ends in 708.html, or the file name. Now if we refresh, now it ends in 724.html. That is our proof that that is working. So when we say $clear equals cache and refresh, every time it clears the cache. But if we don't say that and we just go to the ordinary URL, then it serves up the thing from the cache and everything is beautiful. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, the only other thing that I suppose we could do is this init clear cache thing. So if the init clear cache is true, maybe we should make sure this is admin who's viewing the page, you know? So how do we do that? Well, pretty much the same way we did it in the past. So we go like this. We load up TronGate tokens, and then we say that token is this TronGate token, attempt get valid token. Now let me echo. I just want to see something. Just want to see something. Echo. Okay, string. Alright, so I'm gonna I'll say if, right, I'll tell you what, let's say if the token is false, then the token is that. Then I think I can say return here, so it's kind of the end of the road if that happens. But then we'll say if user level does not equal admin, then init clear cache is going to go back to false. Okay, horrible code. I'm sure I could have done it better if I was in a more awake state, but it should work, you know? I'm pretty sure that's going to work. So that is now secure. And if we go like that, that's it serving from the cache thing. So there you have it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, so shall we? I was going to tell you about something that came on the radar that you may or may not have found entertaining. I don't know. I wonder if we should do this thing, or maybe not. I'll tell you what, I just want to view the source here. Okay, now I'm going to go to inspect. I'll put on this network thing. And then we will refresh. So hard reload. Let's look at all. That's pretty cool. So if I do that, clear equals cache. No, it's solid. This page is totally solid. Yep. Okay, that is it. Now, let's just add it to a news page, and then that will be the end of the road here. An article page even. So the way that it works, if we look at index, we chuck in two things, attempt intercept, and then save page. That's basically it. So let's go to where the news articles live here. So here's one here. News display. I kind of regretted that article, you know. I don't want to attack the JavaScript people. The JavaScript community has got a totally different set of parameters to work with than the PHP community. You see, we have got this server-side technology that's based on the C language. So there's no reason whatsoever why we cannot have massive levels of stability, you know. We can 100% do that. And you can see that that's now worked. See, it's written the file. Now, by the way, I just thought of something else. I did just think of something else there. When we... hold on a minute. Yeah, you see this page, save page thing? Okay. So what I'm going to say is, if init clear cache is true, then return. So what that means is that if I go like this, question mark clear equals cache, it's doing the full page here, right? You know what? Forgive me, I'm a wee bit all over the place here. I think that makes more sense. Okay, here we go again. Why is that not clearing? Why the hell is that not clearing? Attempt intercept. Okay, let's var dump that. So it does say true. And we do that. And then let's again, I'll just double check this. So it is true. So unlink the thing. It is done. Why did it not say, do you know what it is? Of course. It's because, that's right, that's 100% right. So the file path is string replace that with that on the file path. Okay, that was a bit heavy. Now hold on. Holy moly. Okay, let me try this. Var dump file path. Right, hold on. Echo target clear cache. Let me echo the file. Echo target. Oh, I see what's happening. So it's done the, that's what it's done. So the target is messed up. So what we're going to do then is we're going to say current URL is string replace. We'll take this little beauty here, replace it with emptiness. We'll do that to the current URL. This makes the current URL a variable. So something like that. Okay, cool. So let's try this again. If we go like this, it creates a file. If we refresh, it serves the file all day long. If we then go to the top here, do a question mark, clear equals cache, it deletes the file, serves us up this thing. But then when we take that off, it caches the file, and that's us. Thank you very much indeed. What an incredible vibe. Okay, good. I'll just write a wee note to self. Alright, that's it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So I said I had something a wee bit crazy to mention, and I don't know if I should bring it up right now. It's every once in a blue moon I do a search to see if anybody's talking about Trongate. Usually they're not, you know. But I discovered this podcast the other day, and it was a couple of dipshits from England who, nothing against people from England, by the way, God bless you. God bless the land of hope and glory. But in any event, these two characters decided that they would have a little go at Trongate. Now that's okay. We have to be comfortable at letting people say that the framework's crap. And it's okay for people to say that the framework's rubbish, or that I'm an idiot, or the worst developer ever, or the code's garbage, or anything. You can say what you want, you know, as far as that goes. You don't have to compliment the framework. But there's two things that really, really annoy me. And one is when people post allegations of security flaws without any underlying evidence whatsoever. I think that's a malicious thing to do, actually. And the second thing that is even more annoying is when people attack my integrity. Now, if you say DC is an idiot, that's fine. If you say he's ugly, it's fine. Anything you want. Attack my looks, anything at all. Maybe even my family's okay, because you probably don't know them, you know. But the one thing that I won't tolerate is people attacking my integrity. And that is basically saying this guy rips people off. Because I've been around the block enough times to know that technologies come and go, skills come and go, but your integrity is there for a lifetime. And if somebody's going to say, oh, he's completely dodgy, he's got an unethical business model, which is what they said. Apparently the framework's got an unethical business model, by the way. Well, that's an attack on my integrity, and I'm not willing to have that, you know. So I had this idea. And the idea was, why don't we build a legal attack fund page? And I would like to go after these people, you know. And I'm thinking about putting in a kind of tier system whereby people can donate if they want. And so what you would do is something like the minimum tier. Let's say it's something like 20 quid, let's say. So if I can get 20 quid's worth of donations, I'll make a retort video and I'll make it really funny and I'll just laugh at these clowns and we'll all have a good old giggle, you know. But then the next tier might be something like 35. Now it might have to be higher than that because the cost of domains has gone up, and I would want it hosted in Iceland, out with the scope of EU law, UK law and European Union, US law. So I'd want it hosted in the EU. So let's say you said, okay, $50 then, because you want, this is potentially going to get legal, right? So the first tier would be, all right, we'll do a YouTube video and we'll tear them to pieces and we'll have some fun. The next tier is, if we get to 50 quid, I will launch a website with the name of the guy. So let's suppose the guy's name is Joe Schmuck. I'll launch a domain name, a website with a domain name of Don't Hire Joe Schmuck or something like that. And in that website that goes up, hosted in Iceland, I will meticulously document everything I think this guy has done that is dodgy, everything he says that I actually consider unethical, and why you might want to think twice before dealing with this guy. And I'll keep that online for 20 years. How's that for a retort? That's level 2. Level 3 might be, let's say, $200-300, something like that. Level 3 is we send them a lawyer's letter. Level 4, might be we find out who their past clients are and have a little word, because I have a lot to say. If you use a framework that gets rewritten constantly, we're not going to name any particular framework, but let's imagine that there was a framework, for example, that up until fairly recently was being rewritten every 6 months, and they were proud of it. And let's imagine that the developers who used that particular framework were misleading their clients into paying for rewrites under the false pretense that it had something to do with security. Well, I would like to talk to the clients and make them aware of that and say, are you aware that you're paying for these bullshit framework rewrites? And they'll probably not know what a framework is or a rewrite, but I'll be glad to explain it. And maybe that could be the next tier. And then probably the top tier would be, let's actually just take them to court and prosecute them, you know? Let's do that. Let's just sue them for defamation or something, you know? Who gives a shit? Now, there are a couple of unknown tossers who are even less popular than me. But wouldn't that be an entertaining way to spend the time? Wouldn't that be the ultimate retort? Because they'll be watching saying, oh, he's going to say something funny. You know, oh, here we go. What's he going to say now? And if I just say, okay, congratulations, asshole. I've just launched a website with your name on it, optimized to the high heavens. From now on, anybody who searches for you will be hearing from me. Oh, and it's hosted in Iceland. You can't even get it banned from Google or anything. Tough luck. Oh, and by the way, the legal attack fund is in full formation. And turns out we're also sending lawyers letters and all sorts. How you like me now? Now, wouldn't that be an entertaining run for your money? It's the Trongate Legal Attack Fund. I spoke about this before and I think people thought I was kidding. But I'm not kidding. I want to attack these fuckers legally. Because what they're doing is unethical. I mean, if I do a video, a YouTube video, right? And I say, Laravel is shit. You could rightfully accuse me of focusing on the negative. You could say, Dave, you're being negative, and I'd say, maybe you're right. You could also rightfully accuse me of being unfair. You could say, well, it can't be crap because tons of people are using it and it's got all these libraries and stuff, and here's why it's good. And I might be inclined to actually agree reluctantly. Not sure if I would, but, you know, it'd be reasonable. But if I was to post a video and say, Laravel's not secure, it's got security bugs. And if Laravel has no known security bugs, now I've just crossed a line. Or if I was to say, the guy who made Laravel is a con artist, he's a crook. Again, that's crossing a line. That's not normal critique. We are now into the range of maliciousness. You see what I'm saying? And I love free speech. I love it. Love it, love it. But I'm kind of thinking that there might be something to be said for dealing with this malicious crap when it shows up, because I think it would send a message to the web development community that we're not fucking about, you know? I mean, for example, in this particular podcast, one of the things that they said over and over was they said, yeah, Trongate's fast, but it has no features. It has no features. And if you look at the screen, what have I just spent the last 3-4 years working on? API managers, advanced file uploaders, graphical query builder, all of this stuff. And a hell of a lot of it you won't find anywhere else. And they write it off as it has no features. This is ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous, and the whole thing was unethical. So I'm very tempted to build that page because I know a few people who would donate to it. And if we want to play the game of let's just fuck somebody's career up, then great. Game on, you know? Maybe we should. I think I probably will. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. I hope you found this entertaining. I've built the cache thing. I like it. All that remains now is just to upload this. I forgot about the Insider Club. We'll need to get that going. You can see that this is a complete bullet offline, you know. So online, I think it's going to be fantastic. We could also, by the way, build an auto-delete feature. You'll notice that I added timestamps in here. But, you know, we probably don't really need it, right? We probably don't really need it, but it's there if we do. Anyway, I hope you got something from this. I've enjoyed this little live stream. Thanks so much for passing by. I appreciate it. And I think that's almost 8 hours of live streaming I've done today, if you count the other one, you know. So, thank you very much. And I'm laughing at this headline. I actually regret this article and I apologize to Next.js. They're not PHP. They've got different rules and different challenges. I apologize to Next.js for that article. One of the nice things about the news is that eventually the stuff gets filtered out anyway and drifts off into the great unknown, you know. Anyway, thank you once again, folks. Bless you all to the highest. You have been watching the home of the web development revolution with me, David Connolly, the web developer extraordinaire. Never listen to the doubters. You hang on to what I'm telling you. We're going to do this. We are going to get a top 10 framework. They're absolutely freaking out because they cannot handle it. But we're going to do it, and you are part of the winning team. I'll catch you later. Cheers.